Good morning, 8th grade. Today we are going to be beginning lesson 3.9. We're going to be reading an article called Heads Up Humans. In this lesson, you will be evaluating evidence to support analysis of the text and analyzing rhetoric and reasoning. Pay attention to the next few slides so you can take notes on what all those things are. So, we're going to continue our discussion of automation here. Remember, the article that we just finished basically makes the argument that automation is coming and in some cases is already here. The automation paradox, that article from last week, says automation is doing our jobs better, but don't worry, it will make more jobs. So time to sit back and relax. No big deal. It's going to make things easier and better for everybody. Today we're going to read an article called Heads Up Humans. This is basically making a different argument. It's saying automation is coming for your job and you better start to worry about it now. Some of you already had some of these concerns around automation. You've talked about this either in your essays or as you were critiquing the automation paradox. This argument is going to make a persuasive case that it's time to start panicking about automation. As you're reading the article, you want to be evaluating evidence. Just as a refresher, evidence is any information that helps prove a claim. These can be facts, quotations, examples, anecdotes, and statistics. All of them can be used as evidence. Facts, of course, are things that can be proved true. In today's society, it's especially important to be focused on using facts. Some people just try to get louder or just say their opinion, but facts really do matter still. Quotations, of course, are things that people actually say. So sometimes you want to use quotes from articles to prove your point of view. Sometimes you can just paraphrase, but sometimes what they say is so important. In today's reading, you're going to see the author quoting experts, quoting other studies, using specific quotations to prove their point. Additionally, the writer will use statistics. Statistics are essentially a word for percentages. Okay, so when you see things like percentages, 80% of people feel this way, 20% feel this. We see a 30% growth in blank. All of those are statistics and percentages. All of these things can be used as evidence. Now, when you analyze an author's argument, it's important to evaluate the evidence by determining whether it's valid, relevant, and sufficient. Evidence is relevant if it supports the claim in a logical way. In a strong argument, the way it supports the claim should also be clear. Sufficient evidence is enough to support the claim. A thorough and balanced argument includes a convincing amount of information related to the claim and addresses opposing viewpoints. So that's really important, right? You need to have enough evidence, not just to prove your point, but to address the other side and then refute that claim. Good writers also use rhetoric and reasoning, especially in persuasive arguments. By identifying the writer's intended audience or the specific people to whom the argument is addressed, it can help you analyze how and why the writer uses certain persuasive techniques, such as rhetorical devices and logical fallacies. Rhetorical devices are specific techniques that writers use to enhance their arguments or to make them stronger, to communicate more effectively. Here's two examples that you're going to want to pay attention to in today's reading. Direct address. Direct address is when you're talking directly to the reader, often using the pronoun you. One example would be, if you're like most young people, you've probably embraced technology. We see this in advertisements a lot, a very famous one being the advertisement from Uncle Sam saying, "I want you to vote." It's a direct address, it's powerful, it gets your attention. Rhetorical questions are questions that have such an obvious answer that it requires no reply, such as this one from the article. Will all these people find some other source of employment? We see this also a lot in advertising. Do you want to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks? Well, of course you do. The answer is obvious, right? So this is sort of the way that advertisers use rhetorical questions to get your attention, to get you to agree and then buy their product. Now, logical fallacies are really interesting.
These are things such as bandwagon appeals, and they're misuses of logic or reasoning that can serve persuasive purposes in argumentative text. So as you analyze Heads Up Humans, think about the writer's purpose for using any persuasive techniques you notice. To dive a little more into bandwagon fallacy, this is, again, a logical fallacy that occurs when one assumes that something must be true or good just because it's popular. So an example might be, most people believe that there's a God, so it must be true. Well, a fallacy just means it's wrong in terms of logic, okay? So it doesn't logically make sense. That's not a good reason for why God must be true, just because most people believe it. That doesn't actually mean it's true. Whether you believe it or not, that's your own personal belief. Now, advertisers also use bandwagon effect all the time. It's one of the most popular logical fallacies. See if you've fallen for it. We all know the Nike phrase, just do it. Bandwagon effect is just do it, and then it's applied just like everyone else did, right? It's trying to get you to buy the product by saying it's popular and everyone should do it. McDonald's does this also. It says over 99 billion stores, so it's very popular. So of course you're going to want their hamburgers as well. We see this in advertising, things like Maybelline, America's favorite mascara. Well, if America loves it, all of America, then why shouldn't you buy it? And of course, Apple does this all the time too. Loving it is easy. That's why so many people do, saying iPhones are popular, and then people go out and buy them. And then they need the new one, and then they say they're better than Android, even though I have an Android, and it's just as good. Yep. So now it's time to go read Heads Up Humans. This is the article by Claudia Alarcon. Again, it's going to make a different case in the automation paradox. So pay attention to the argument. It's not that difficult to figure out what the argument is. We already talked about it, and I think you'll pick that up quickly. What you want to do, though, is read the text on HMH. Make sure to take notes using one of the methods in this lesson. And then, of course, as you're reading, pay attention to the kinds of evidence the author uses and the use of rhetoric and logical fallacies. All right. Make sure to read those directions in the lesson carefully, and best of luck.